Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The first one is introduction. This section will include background information on the project, the team's organizational structure, the task distribution process, the company's history, and the products and the technologies it offers. Next, we continue with project briefing. Hazards must be eliminated and workers must receive adequate training for there to be a safe and secure workplace. OSHA aids in preserving stable and fair working conditions. It authorizes occupational safety and health programs carried out by individual companies through OSHA. The purpose of this small project is to show the students how the industry has implemented occupational safety and health measures. The students' comprehension will be enhanced by performing some research on the business. Continue with organization chart. Muhammad AMIRUL IZANI bin Muhammad RIDZWAN was selected by the group as the team's captain. Then the remaining 4 members are provided as indicated on the chart. Next is the task distribution. The task for Muhammad AMIRUL IZANI bin Muhammad RIDZWAN is to identify the type of hazards that may occur and how are they avoided, and including minute meeting and slide presentation. Next task for IDLAN IDID bin Muhammad AIZUDDIN is to design the Occupational Safety and Health Management System, enforcement of occupational safety and health practice at worksite, including minute meeting and slide presentation. For Muhammad AMIRUL bin Muhammad PAUZI, the task for him is to design and identify the facilities for occupational safety and health that exist or should exist on the site, including minute meeting and slide presentation. For Muhammad AIMAN MUHAIMIN bin ABDULLAH, the task is to arrange the procedures and activities need to be carried out in the event on an emergency or injury or accident or incident has occurred. And lastly, the task for Muhammad IQBAL bin SAIFUL BAHRI is to describe the project, build the team's organizational hierarchy, detail how the work was assigned fairly, provide background information on the company, including information on its history, products and services, and also including minute meeting and slide presentation. Next is the company background. The goal of ABA Gas Technologies SDN BHD is to supply goods and services to the natural gas markets. ABA was established in 2005. Since its founding, ABA has been developing cutting-edge goods and services for the natural gas distribution, compressed natural gas (CNG), liquefied natural gas (LNG), and natural gas for vehicles (NGV) sectors in both domestic and international markets. ABA key business activities. The first one is offering CNG and LNG virtual pipelines to industrial and commercial customers in order to deliver clean energy solutions. Secondly, supplying tools and services for testing biogas and natural gas engines. The third one is manufacturing of natural gas equipment, including LNG regasification units, CNG compressors, and pressure reducers for CNG. And lastly, construction of pilot plants for the development and improvement of processes. Continue with product and services. The first product is virtual pipeline. In Malaysia, a relatively recent idea is the use of virtual pipelines to supply natural gas. The idea expands access to natural gas into isolated regions that are not connected to the traditional pipeline grid. Virtual pipelines are used to distribute CNG or LNG that is either produced using renewable natural gas sources like landfill gas or POME biogas or conventional natural gas pipelines. The second product is NGV refueling station. For our clients in Malaysia and worldwide, ABA offers full turnkey NGV building services. This covers project management, design and engineering, equipment sizing and selection, all permitting, procurement procedures and training. High levels of expertise are required for the mechanical, electrical and electronic sides of NGV equipment. To keep your NGV equipment in peak shape, ABA has the skills and knowledge required to offer you to top-notch maintenance services. The third product is pressure reducing unit. Natural gas pressure is often reduced by pressure reducing units from 250 bars for CNG tube trailers to roughly 1.5 bars for use in boilers or gas engines. The measurement and quantification of the quantity of natural gas sold to the consumer is another duty. The fourth product is gas engine testing. To assure performance and the endurance of the engines, all gas engines, whether they are powered by natural gas or biogas, will need to undergo comprehensive testing in real-world settings. ABA creates a variety of tools and services for engine test benches, natural gas supply. In order to guarantee that they properly match the testing conditions, the natural gas equipment and supply will be designed based on the customer's requirements. Next is the pilot plant and technical training equipment. In Malaysia, ABA is the top provider of technical training tools, skill training facilities and pilot plants for public and private universities. ABA increases its training products to include machinery for electricity, energy, power generation, process engineering and fluid mechanics. ABA has a successful track record spanning more than 10 years. The last one is custom gas equipment. For use in natural gas and industrial gas applications, ABA manufactures and assembles a variety of equipment including pressure regulating and metering skids, injection skids, pressure vessels, heat exchangers and others.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad AMIRUL bin Muhammad PAUZI. I would like to explain about standard use in company. There are two standard use in gas technologies, which is ISO 13686 2013 for natural gas. It is international standard specifies parameters required to describe finally processed and where the required blended natural gas, and ISO 15500 2016. All fuel component contact with natural gas considered suitable for natural gas as defined in ISO 15403. However, it is recognized that miscellaneous component not specifically covered herein can be examined to meet criteria of this part ISO 15500 and can be tested in accordance with the appropriate function test. There are several facilities to prevent hazard that gas technologies implement in their workplace. It is signboard and hazard sign. The sign helps us to know that the chemical we are using might cause harm to people or the environment. Personal preventive equipment (PPE) is one of the important things that need to implement in industries. The PPE that being used in gas technologies is safety boot, safety helmet, reflective safety vest, glove. It is mandatory to wear the PPE in construction and production site. In gas technologies, there are several safety equipment that have been used in the company since the company established. It is the first aid kits. Few things must be included in the first aid kits, which is a bandage, plaster, glove, medical tape and tweezer. To prevent fire, gas technologies do implement fire extinguisher, fire hose reel and fire alarm in the building.
Part B. Types of hazard and ways to avoid it. Conducting HIRAC, it is need to analyze possible hazard in each activity. For gas technologies, welding activities is one activity that be conducted in the workplace. So, we look to the types of hazard from welding activity and ways to prevent it. First, illumination from arc welding. When conducting welding activities, there will be spark or arc occurs. So the spark and arc will cause eye injury when the eyes of welder or workers in the workplace is exposed to the arc in longer time. So ways to avoid it is to use personal preventive equipment (PPE) such as face shield and place a welding screen in front of the welding activities area to protect others people or workers in the workplace. Second, manual handling due to repetitive manual lifting of welding head torch. When conducting welding activities, the welder need to handle and lift the welding head torch in a longer period of time. So when it is constantly done, it may cause muscular strain and back pain. So way to avoid it, first, provide suitable racking place for the welder to place the head torch. Second, provide training for the welder. And third, provide a few short breaks to give the welder break from the work. Third, sharp object. Before conduct welding process, metal and material that want to be weld need to be grind first. So when poorly grind, it may provide a sharp edge that may cause bleedings or cuts. So way to avoid it, first, to provide the glove to protect the hands of the welder. And second is provide first aid kit as preparation when accidents occur. Fourth, welding fumes generated from welding activity. In welding process, there will be gases or fumes generated, which is harmful to the welder and others employee in the workplace. It may cause a chronic and acute health effect to the respiratory system. So, way to avoid it, first, a quality indoor air and adequate ventilation must be provided. Second, people in the surrounding can use approved respirator to reduce the fumes being breathed or enter the respiratory system. And third, provide local exhaust ventilation system to absorb fumes or gases directly to the welding workplace. And the last, leaked electricity or damaged wires and cables. Welding machines need electricity to operate. So, when there is poor condition or damaged wire, it may cause electrocution to the employee or the welder in the workplace or in the surrounding of the workplace. So, ways to avoid it, redesign to place the cable trays above head height, that there will be no laying electricity cables on the floor. Second, inspect any parts to ensure the part is in a good condition. And third, employee is recommended to report any defects that have been found or occurs to the management department.
In OSH management system, they are using PDCA cycle. PDCA consists of 4 steps, which is plan, do, check, and action. It is repeated stages. PDCA is a tool for continuous improvement that is frequently utilized in the service and industrial. Next, in Abagas Sendirian Berhad, they have a safety committee. The function of the Safety and Health Committee at the workplace are to review the workplace safety and health procedure, to investigate any complaints or other related matters that are raised, to hold regular discussion with the employer on issues relating to the workplace safety and health. There are 3 inspection procedures that used by the company. First is to assess specific risk control system and the adequacy of health and safety management arrangements. Next, identify any measures required to control specific risks and or manage health and safety to promote sustained compliance. Lastly, take appropriate action, including enforcement in accordance with the enforcement policy statement and the enforcement management model. Here is the example of the job hazard analysis worksheet of the company. Lastly, there are 5 safety procedures that are used by the company. Firstly, collaborate with the local emergency response community to ensure a high level of overall safety. Next, invest in safety programs that unites workers to encourage open communication and respect in the workplace. Next, ensure familiarity with worksite to make sure everyone understands with their position. Fourth, consistent housekeeping to reduce the likelihood of deadly accident. And lastly, implement the 5S system to improve the workflow and eliminate waste.
First is the fire emergency procedure. Before explaining the procedures, Abagas also explaining about who need to follow and responsible to follow this procedure. First is the personal safety and action, employee and visitor. And also, in case of emergency, employee and visitor need to stop working immediately and follow emergency route, and to assemble at the assembly point, and also to call the fire department. Next is committee action. Security officer and emergency response team is one of the committee actions, which is need to switch off the electrical components and to put down the fire using fire extinguisher if possible. This is in case the fire is still small. And lastly is to lead the employee to safety and roll call. And next is the definition. The definition is explaining some important things need to remember and understood by all staff members. The definition are building evacuation plan, and also assembly point and call point. And also employee need to understand how to trigger an alarm, and also what different alarm have different sound and timing. All the staff member need to understand and know which one is the emergency, the great emergency and the small emergency. It's the personal qualification and responsibilities. In the document regarding the emergency procedures, Abagas technology also include and qualifications and responsibility of the important person to act in case of emergency. These are 4 personnel have been mentioned, which are first fire safety officers, which this qualification is the exposure and cause on aspect of flow safety control. Next is emergency response teams, where emergency response team have trainings and exposure of firefighting and responsibilities. And the third one is security guards. The security guard also need a training station with a fire department. And lastly is the managers. Managers is expertise in the field of fires. Is the inspection procedure, which are first action on small fire. In case of small fire happened, the first thing need to do is ring the fire alarm. And next one is for the first 15 seconds, alarm are for warning. Employee need to understand the first 15 seconds is just for warning. And also, if the fire is possible to be put out, the employee need to put out the fire using the fire extinguisher. Next is action on emergency situation. Of course, the first thing to do is to ring the fire to alert all the employees. And the second one is to contact the officer in charge. And third one is to identify the fire. Either the fire is big, cannot be contained, or small, can be contained with fire extinguisher. And also save the victim is possible. In case of fire, there might be an accident happen to the employees. If it's possible to be safe, the employee need to be save the victim in case of emergency. Next one is contact fire department. And next one is turn off all the switch. And lastly, if trapped in smoke, follow the steps. There is step that have been teach to all employees in case of fire and there are a lot of smoke and you cannot see the parts you want to go. Okay. The lastly is rescue team. Rescue team is always ready to help a fire department. And next one is to make sure no vehicle enter or exit the place. And next one is roll call, to make sure all the employees are in the safe assembly point and in the safe area. Next one is find the missing victim. In case there is employee that's missing, the rescue team need to search them and make sure they are safe, and bring them to the assembly point. And lastly, it give treatment to injured person. In case of accident happen, there might be the accident where people will get hurt, and you need to give a treatment and make sure make sure they get a proper care. This is the list prepared by the Abagas Technologies regarding the fire action plans procedure. As can be seen, there are a total of 31 steps for this procedure, where first step in the procedure is to ring the emergency alarm by breaking the glass break rate the closest to us, and until the last procedure, which is be ready to help the firefighter in case of needed. The help that firefighter might need is to maybe to bring the victim to the safety place, and also or maybe to carry out some item to help contain the fire. Next is a procedure of gas leakage. Other than fire, gas leakage procedure also included in the emergency procedure of Abagas Technologies. The procedures are: first, shut down the valve or the main shut off. This is to make and also in this step, you need to make sure all the components that can create spark are off or break away from the leakage. And secondly, do not turn off or on the electrical device. All electrical components can produce spark and create explosion. The third one is open all windows and doors. This is to make sure the ventilation in good condition for the gas to release outside. And lastly, notify immediately the gas supplier to stop the gas supply. If there are fire, call fire department and notify the type of gas that caused the fire, and also call the supplier to stop the gas from being supplied to the company. And if the procedure deals with injury, this is a basic procedure where further action is need in case someone hurt is in the accident. The procedure are: for burns and scales, first is to cool the burn with the running water, and the second one is to call the ambulance, and third one is to remove the clothing if possible. In case the clothing is caught on fire and it stick to the skin, you cannot remove the clothing and let the safety officer or the fire department remove the clothes, because you can hurt the victim by removing the clothes. And lastly is cover burns with cling film. This is to make sure there is no infection or any outside material that will be stick to the skin. Next one is bleeding. First thing to do is to call ambulance if cut or stabs. Next is to wear glove before treatment. And third one is put pressure on cut to stop the bleeding. And lastly, to use bandage to the wound firmly. The lastly is bruise. Put ice on the bruise. First is to put ice on the bruise, and second, identify the injury, including the bone. If the pain becomes worse, there are possibility of bone crack. All this procedure to deal with injury is just a basic, and also in case of anything happen, this is only the first step. Further treatment is required for the victim. Okay. Lastly, this is the incident form where Abagas use. Okay. Lastly, this is the incident form where Abagas use the form prepared by OSHA that can be downloaded on the website. The form are important to record the incident happen to help prevent the same incident happen in future. Also, it is used for evidence in case employee want to claim the reparation if the accident happened because of the carelessness of the company. That is all from me. Thank you.